Okay, welcome to part 14 of my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. In the last episode, Link braved the depths of Misery Mire, found the Cane of Samaria, and defeated Vitreous to rescue the sixth maiden who was imprisoned by the wizard Ganon. Before we head for Turtle Rock, where Princess Zelda is being held captive, I would like to go to the witch's hut and fill up on blue potions. I know I'm very close, but it's just that little bit faster if I use the flute to transport myself there. Just a little bit quicker. Okay, I still have a green potion, so I'm going to go ahead and use that green potion just to clear it out of my bottle, and I'm going to buy another blue potion. So I have 3 blue potions and a fairy. That should cover me for all I need in Turtle Rock. Now I'm going to use the flute to fly to the bottom of Death Mountain. We now have 2 different tools that will help us get across Death Mountain that we didn't have the first time we came through here. We have the hookshot and the Titan's Mitt. So using the hookshot, we can access this rope bridge right here and cross the gap by hooking onto the planks on the other side. The golden sword makes quick work of the Tektites here. There are 4 caves down here at the base of the mountain. The only one that's really worth going in is the second one, the one with the black stones. The other ones will either access from a different area or access later. Or they don't have anything of interest. This one, honestly, you could skip because there isn't anything too interesting to get out of it. Just a little bit of exploration, a couple rupees, some supplies, nothing big. Head down the hole to the right, fall down into this room. And you can take the path, you can either go out the door here, which leads you onto a platform just above the door that you're on, or you can go back inside. Drop down this hole, and you will fall on a platform here where you can throw some pots and get some more rupees. Now the other 2 rooms there we will see shortly. By heading into this 5th cave and jumping down the platform here, we'll fall into the room below. We can use a bomb here to check out the room behind it, which contains treasure chests that have some supplies, arrows, bombs, nothing extremely fantastic. We'll go back upstairs. We can head through this door. This room has a couple mini moldorms and 5 treasure chests. Each one contains a red rupee, so in total there are 100 rupees to be had in this room. So if you need rupees, that's not a bad room for you to check out. We're going to jump back down the platform. It's a little bit faster than going down the steps, and we can push this block. And there's another spot right here that we can bomb. Drop a bomb, and it will expose a shop where you can buy red potion, a heart, bombs. I'm not entirely sure what the point of barricading yourself in a cave on Death Mountain is. I can't see how that's good for business, but somehow she was sitting there blocked in that cave and she thought that was a good idea. So that takes us out the right one right here. If we go in the 3rd one, it doesn't actually lead us anywhere at all. So we skipped the first cave, and we'll be back to that shortly. In order to actually for it to matter going in the first cave, we're going to drop down into it from above. So clear out the mini moldorms in the way. And we're now on top of Death Mountain. Underneath this, there's a ferry. It can be very useful to restore your health. There are 4 spots where you can jump down. 2 through 4 all basically lead to the bottom of the mountain. So there isn't any real use for going down there at all. Here you'll see the other side of the rope bridge. Basically, if we go across the rope bridge, it'll lead us to the Tower of Hera. So, nothing interesting to see there. This is somewhere we have already been. But we're going to drop down this first ledge onto this platform and go in this cave. If you dash along this path, you can pretty much kill whatever you run into. You have to be careful, because you might run into a berry that's shocking at the moment. And make your way through, and there's a hole for you to drop down at the end. And it'll drop you on a platform with a treasure chest containing 50 rupees. And this is the room that the first cave door goes into at the bottom of Death Mountain. So before we head on, there's also one other point of interest here at the bottom of the mountain. We can head south here, and there is a rock here. Underneath that heavy rock is a transport to the Dark World. So let's check this out. If you check to the left, you'll see that the rope bridge is gone. It doesn't exist in the Dark World, and there are 2 caves we can go in. The 2 caves are on this platform. The cave on the right can be useful if you're desperate for supplies. There's a shop right here, but honestly, not really that useful. So we'll check the cave on the left. 2 paths you can go. If you follow this path, you'll see that you're blocked by 2 blocks there. They're the kind of blocks that you can push once, and only once, so you aren't able to make it past that. Instead, if you go up a floor, you can drop down a hole right here on the other side of those blocks. Then you can push this block to go up a floor. You can drop on the other side of those blocks. And now we can go up a floor. And there are a few more hard hat beetles. Just take them out as you need to. And you're going to want to drop down this furthest hole down here at the bottom. This will drop us on this side of the treasure chests. So we got 3 bombs and 20 rupees, and we can go up a floor. And now we're at the top of Death Mountain in the Dark World. So, underneath this rock is a cave we can go into. And you can see there are some berries, some skull pots. There's also a platform over there, but try as we might, we can throw the hook shot over there, nothing to hook onto. So it doesn't seem like there's any way to get across, but there actually is a hidden floor, and using the magic of ether, it'll show you the path where the hidden floor is. The wall to the north can be bombed, and we'll go ahead and head through that in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and backtrack. There are a few treasures we can find in this area using the hookshot. Use the hookshot. Don't pick up any of the pots unless you're absolutely sure you don't need to go back to that platform, but you can hook onto the pots to pull yourself onto these platforms. So there's 50 rupees in that one. Make sure you don't want to hook onto that treasure chest because you'll just fall right down into the pit. It'll pull you over, but you'll still fall down. So you have to make sure that there's a platform for you to land on whenever you get across there. And the last one that actually contains a treasure is this one over here. You can go to the one in the north, but it's very possible you might get knocked off by the hard hat beetle, so it's not exactly worth it. just like that. But the room is clear, so we can go ahead and check out this room to the north now. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just use Ether one more time just so I can see the floor. Okay, it looks like you can bomb 3 different parts of this room, but it turns out you can only bomb the west and the north wall. If you try to bomb the east wall, it won't do anything at all. Up here we find a fairy who will heal us if we have hearts that need restored. We can head through the west door, and it turns out that there's another wall we can bomb. Through this door is a fairy fountain. If you need to grab a fairy, you can go ahead and do that here. And we're going to go out this south door. And this brings us to a peak directly across from where we were before. We came out just south, just in the bottom right corner of the screen is where we came up to the top of Death Mountain. But this place exists in the light world as well. If we use the magic mirror, it'll bring us onto a platform that we otherwise couldn't make it to. And we will grab piece of heart number 23. So we'll flip back to the dark world now. And it looks like you'll jump down into the abyss if you do this, but it turns out that Link will just jump down further from this peak onto the other top of the mountain here. So let's go ahead and flip back to the light world now that we're at the top of the mountain. Now, we already made it onto this first platform here, on this first drop-down, but you can see another one right here. And there's no way to get to that from the top of the mountain. If you jump off of this ledge, it will be too far to the left. This ledge is too far to the right. So we'll have to think about that. And remember that's there, and come back later. So before we proceed, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Dark World for just a moment. We'll be coming back to the Light World momentarily. But you can check the map, and we are very close to Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock exists just one screen east of here, where the platform was in the Light World. And you can see it's called Turtle Rock because there's the tail, there are the claws, and there's the head. But there's no way into Turtle Rock. So, it looks like there's a platform up there, but we can't get to it. So, one little secret here of Turtle Rock, this claw right here, if you pull on it, will drop out 20 rupees. Just a little fun thing. So, we're going to want to go back to the light world here, deal with the dead rocks, and let's lift the platform. Now, there are 3 stakes on top of this spot. And in order to get on top of that platform, we need to do something with these stakes. It turns out that you want to pound the stakes in a specific order. You want to start with this corner, and you'll hear a tone, and you want to go counterclockwise. This will make a transporter appear to the Dark World. So now we're on top of Turtle Rock in the Dark World, and there's a platform here with a strange symbol. If we check our inventory, you can see that it matches the Quake Medallion. Remember, we got the Quake Medallion from the monster at the Lake of Ill Omen who just wanted to be left alone. And surely enough, Link couldn't resist throwing a stone into his circle. So he gave us the Quake Medallion to leave him alone. So use the Quake Medallion on the pedestal, and the door to Turtle Rock will open. So, let's go. So it's either Link or it's either Zelda or Sahasrahla is asking us, do we have Medicine of Magic? If not, they don't recommend that we go in here. Okay, to go in this dungeon, we will have another use for the Cane of Samaria that we got in Misery Mire. These question mark blocks appear above the pit. If we use the Cane of Samaria, it'll make a platform for us. and we can use this platform to ride it across to the other side. That is a very integral part of getting through this dungeon. So let's go ahead and use it, and let's ride it a little bit along this platform here, and we'll check out this first door to the left. So we'll avoid the Medusa statues and grab the compass. Now this is a little bit of a trap here. If you walk away from this door, the door opens. If you face the door closes. And sure enough, this little statue will shoot laser beams at us. This little eyeball. So, we want to keep our back to the door as close as we can, walk in front, and go through the door. Now it's a good idea if you don't need magic to not pick up the pots in this room, if you don't know your way through the dungeon, because then you can use those pots later to get where you need to go. So the room to the north there is locked with a key, and it's just as well, because I'm going to go around this way now. We came in the southeast door, let's go through this one. And there's a platform here where we can get some more supplies. And there's another door we can go through here at the northeast corner. Now this door has flying tiles. So, as usual, it's pretty safe if you don't actually move through the doorway, and you just fend off the tiles as they come. You can sit here and spam B to swing the sword, or you can just time it so whenever they come and hit you, then you use the sword. Once all the tiles are gone, make your way through. And in this room we've got some magic and a fairy. So, no, it's not necessary to go into that room, but it'll help you restore your magic in your home, and your health if you need it. So the next room we want to go into is this one over here. This door is closed, and in order to open it, we will need to use the torches in this room. All 4 torches have to be lit in order to open that door. So you're not going to get close enough to actually use your lantern on these torches, so you need to use the fire rod. And you have a certain amount of time. While the torches are lit, the door is open, but when they burn out, the door closes. So you need to make it through and get through this door before those torches burn out. In the next room there is a roller, spiked roller. Try your best to avoid the spiked roller better than I did. And at the top of the room we have the dungeon map, as well as a key. Okay, now we want to go to the locked room in that first room we were in. So we need to equip the King of Samaria. And we'll go through this door. Now, in the earlier Legend of Zelda games, it was very common for enemies to be sort of inspired by Super Mario. And that is very reminiscent of a Pokey, if I share my opinion on the matter. So you have to kill the Pokey, or I don't know what it's called in Zelda, it's not a Pokey. And he'll drop the key. And speaking of enemies inspired by Super Mario, here are Chain Chomps, and that is actually what they're called, if I'm not mistaken. This room can confuse a lot of people, because we've been in every other room, there's nowhere else to go, and there's a key right there that we need to get. So the secret is, you have to move a block in this room in order to find the key, and the block you have to move is this one right here. So as soon as the Chain Chomps move, you can move that block, hit the crystal switch, and let's open that chest. So we got the key, let's go. Go down one floor. Now moving through these tubes is going to be a big part of continuing through the rest of the dungeon. We'll grab some more supplies. We've got a couple bubbles to deal with down here. And I'm going to go through this tube. Now, you don't have to control it where it's going through the tube. It doesn't have intersections. You just follow the tube from one end to the other, and that's that. So here you have two tubes to choose from. I'm going to go through the one on the right first. And we've got a few bubbles here. If you time it right, you can take out more than one with one drop of magic powder. So watch out for the rabbit beam. And the crystal switch did not drop the rabbit beam. But here I am. I'm a cute little bunny. And it'll wear off in a minute and then we can get moving. So we've got yellow Stalfos skulls float around. Kind of obnoxious. And again, the enemy that is like a pokey is holding the key to the room. So, watch the doors in this dungeon. You can see the eyeball. You want to avoid a straight shot with that door and head through as fast as you can. Head through the tube. In this treasure chest, you'll find the big key. So we have the dungeon map, the compass, and the big key. This door leads to a tube that is basically just an exit. So we got some more magic, and now we're going to go back through into the other room with the lava, and we're going to go through the tube on the left. So this time, head into the tube on the left. It'll take you to a door at the bottom left corner of the room. And here we are again trapped by a room that has enemies that need to be cleared out before we can proceed. The spin attack is actually pretty effective against these things because you can sometimes kill the head all in one go. If you kill the head, then it's pretty much done for. So I'm going to check out the room to the left here, and this is the big key room, so obviously we can't do anything in this room. So we'll go into the room on the bottom. And if you check out the room to the right, you'll see the big chest. So we'll go to the left. And in this room you see 5 eyes on the wall. And it looks like you can bust that cracked wall down there. So, I'm going to equip the bomb, but you have to be very careful. You can't stay in front of these walls for very long. Drop the bomb, try to avoid the lasers as best as you can. It's almost not even worth it to try to get the rest of the supplies there. Just head out the door. Now we have the big key, and you're thinking, oh, let's go ahead and head through this door and get that big chest. Here is, in my opinion, the best hidden piece of heart in the game. Instead of going in this door, equip the magic mirror and transport yourself to the light room. In front of this door is that platform that I mentioned before that there's no other way to access. There are a few Goria in this room. They're actually very easy to kill. You just have to get them in a spot where arrows can reach them. I'm going to go ahead and... there's no point in picking those up, so I'm going to try to kill these with the arrows first. Doesn't look like I'm going to get them. There we go. And we'll go through the door, and in this treasure chest is the final piece of heart, number 24. We completed a heart container, so now we only have 1 heart left to get. Head back out the door, go through the transporter, back to the Dark World, back to Turtle Rock, and now we can go through this door. Use the Cane of Samaria to make a platform. And Link picks up the mirror shield that allows him to reflect beams that his old shield couldn't block. and it is one giant shield. But it looks nice with his golden sword. So now we're in the room we were in before with the big key, and we had the big key before, but we wanted to make sure we got the mirror shield first. This leads us to another tube that will take us out in the top left corner of the room. Another one of these enemies. Try to take out the head if you can. And you're going to want to bomb these walls. Check out the room to the right first. We've got a couple Zols to take out. Now it isn't actually necessary to go through this room. Honestly, we're full up on rupees, there is no point for us to go in here, but I'll show you what it is anyway. You need to pull the statue's tongue in order to open the door, and it opens to a room with a lot of rupees and a lot of traps. So there's no benefit to me going in that room other than just for completion. So I'm going to skip it. Head through the door to the north, and we've got a treasure chest here that contains the key we'll need to open that door. So it's a little bit difficult to get in there without taking damage, but you can do it if you're careful. And you're going to need to hit that switch again in order to get across, but you can't be hiding in this area. You can be hiding on these blocks, but it's easier if you're not, because you can trap yourself like this. And in this case, I caught myself. I'll say that I did that for the sake of warning you against doing it, and you'll have to use the magic mirror. But, thankfully, it takes you back to the place that brought you into the dungeon instead of the dungeon's beginning, so I don't have nearly as far to go to catch up to where I was. So now you want to go through the north door again. We already have the key, so all we have to do is cross, and we'll go downstairs. Now this room has a cave door that you can go through, but you have to hit the switch to open the door. So the switch is in the center of the room, but we'll look at the rest of the room just for completion's sake. Get some magic, get some hearts. I always miss that. And I miss it again. Follow the path and see where it is this time though. This is the pathway to the middle of the room. You want to lift this pot, hit the switch, and then you want to go to the bottom left corner of the room, avoiding the fire walls as much as possible. So here's the door, you can go through. This room can really, not this room, the room after this can give you a lot of trouble. You want to get through there as fast as possible and avoid the Helmasaur. So if you dash through, you can typically make it right past the Helmasaur without a problem. This is the room that can give you a lot of problems. Each one of these little passageways with the treasure chest is blocked by a laser eye, but you now have the mirror shield. As long as you keep the mirror shield pointed toward that laser eye, you'll be fine. So you can approach it head on, but there's no way to get back without getting blasted by the laser eye and possibly knocked off the platform, except for if Link draws his sword. You can see that he's got his shield on his right arm, and I can walk safely over to this treasure chest, just like I was approaching it head on, draw my sword, and walk safely away. Now for ones on the opposite wall, you'll have to flip and face south, and that will let you go through. Remember to flip and face south again, and you can make it back out. Here we have an enemy there. The hard hat beetle would have given us some trouble, so I went ahead and knocked it off the platform using the silver arrows. Not that it's the silver arrows that did it, but just for clarity's sake, it was just the arrow itself. And the bottom treasure chest has the key to it. So you can go here and see that there is a wall that you can bomb open, which leads to a balcony. And you'd think after seeing that treasure chest in the other light world, right south of the big key, that you could do something here, but it's nothing special. You can go through this door, and turns out you've already been here. We dropped down this hole earlier. So nothing to be seen. All we have to do is run back across, avoiding the laser beams. Now we have the key to make it through this room. We've got a bit of a puzzle or a maze in here, and avoid the bubble. With the magic powder, you can turn it into a fairy. And we want to hit the crystal switches to get us where we need to go. We're going to use those as much as we can. There we go. And you want to go to the room to the north. Now, if you hit this thing on the other side of these walls like that, it can't actually launch back at you, so it's actually kind of useful to do that. Now, what I'm going to do here is go down here, hit the crystal switch, again, and now we're on this side of it. So I've got the helmet sword there, I can avoid it that way, and now we're in the same room with the bubble, lock it in there, get over to this side, get over to that side, and we'll check for more supplies. So you can really use Link's magic blast from his sword to your advantage. So head through the north door and we'll go down one floor. Make sure your health and your magic are all the way full. Use the Cane of Samaria to make a platform, and it will lead us directly to the boss's lair. Check the symbol here on the ground. It gives you a hint as to what you're facing. And let's go inside. Inside we find Trinex, a three-headed turtle with elemental affinities. Its red head breathes fire, its blue head breathes ice. The red head is weak to ice. So use the ice rod and it will weaken the head. And you can use the sword to slash at it. A couple good hits with the golden sword will take it out. The ice head will breathe ice and make it difficult to walk on. Once the two heads of Trinex are gone, it will lose its shell and run as fast as it can around the arena here. It has a weak spot in its center. The easiest way to beat this quickly is just to use your spin attack on your sword. 3 good spin attacks will defeat Trinex. Grab the final heart container. And we'll save Princess Zelda. once Ganon enters the light world, it is unlikely that anyone can stop him, but if he stays in the closed space of this world, you can find him wherever he runs. Now, go to the Tower of Ganon. We will use our combined powers to break the barrier. Let's return peace to the country without fail. Do you understand? Now it is time to lead a full-on assault on Ganon's tower. These enemies are called Lynels and are some of the hardest enemies in the game to fight, in my opinion. But Link's shield can now deflect their magic blasts. The seal on Ganon's tower is broken. What awaits Link inside? Find out on our next episode. Thanks for watching.